morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Connon. Welcome to Premarket Info.
Apple and Amazon reported earnings last night. The market sold off. It's actually found some support in this whole 1394 area where we found support a couple of months ago. We're going to also talk about earnings from Expedia, Comcast, and Merck. But where do we head from here? Joel, let's start with Apple. It was kind of a disaster of a report.
Well, before we talk to Apple, I just want to learn, listeners, I'm a little depressed this morning.
Tigers.
Our Motor City Kitties are down 2-0 to those Giants.
I know, and they didn't bring the bats. 2 hits last night. That just doesn't cut it. So I didn't even want to talk about it, but you brought me up. Now you got me in a bad mood to start my Friday show. I was hopefully trying to forget about it.
Just quickly, as we make predictions about everything, I think they use their 2 lefties here, and the lefties are tough on the Tigers.
They are.
Down, they're not going to be able to use those lefties. I'm looking for a sweep on the home stand. Look for me in the stands on Saturday night. I'll be wearing the Premarket Info T-shirt.
Are you going to the game?
Yeah, I'm going to the game.
Awesome. That's great, man. That's
better have a good trading day today.
All right. Well, cheer them on.
Anyways, Apple
reported earnings. They missed $8.67 against estimates of $8.84. They lowered guidance for the next quarter, $11.75. Estimates were up at $15.59. So a huge lower. The stock opened after this report down basically 25 points at 585.10 and has rallied ever since. The stock is now trading up. Believe it or not, after all of that, the stock is up on the day. It's up $1.86 at $211.40 on 273,000 shares.
So, what do you never look a gift short in the mouth? I mean, I don't know here. I mean, after trading down to 585, we've had a nice rally here. We are topping out in the pre-market here. Just made a recent high at 612.49. I would just keep an eye wherever it keeps trekking up in the pre-market. Let's say 612.49 or 613 holds. If it busts through there within the first couple minutes of trading, I think it's good to rally. But it could just be propped up here just to get whacked. Coming on the downside, we took out all that support at 610, went to 605 double yesterday. I would still use that as that 605 double as minor support. But if we take that out, we're heading back under 600.
I don't know if I agree with this. I think you've obviously seen people come with their buying shoes on. There's still value here. Like those estimates up at 15.59, we're probably stretching it anyways. If you look at it, and if you just take it out, still if they make $45 or say even $40, the multiple at 600 is still only 15. So the stock is cheap, and that's why people were coming in. They came in after hours saying this is the only time we're going to see this thing under 600, and we want to buy it right now. Oppenheimer came out this morning, said the stock should be bought on weakness. Now keep in mind that the stock has traded as low as 585, so to think it's just going to rally straight up from here, I don't know if that's the case, but I think there's just too many people that want to own this stock, and I do believe in the long run it probably continues higher here. So it's a scary short. So I'm taking the opposite side of your bet on that one there, Joel. I don't think the stock is just going to fall back to that 585 level. I don't even know.
No.
I don't think we get it under 600. I don't think it goes under 600.
How about 602 versus 622?
I'm saying it doesn't get under 600. So,
all right,
but maybe it does. I don't know, because maybe they want to shake you out. But I'm thinking you're going to get some buyers in that whole 600 area today. If it pulls back, it's going to find some buyers. There's just too many people that want to own this stock. It's too favored. When they report and they miss on the line, they lower guidance, and the stock still goes up on the day. That is the definition of strength. This whole market actually sold off like 10 points in this Apple report. It's funny, Apple rallies, but the market's actually still down. So I don't know. I'm not even betting with you today. But
okay, Permabull.
Okay. Well, look at Amazon too. Amazon reports a disaster quarter two, losing money, 23 cents against estimates. They were supposed to lose 7 cents. They lost 23. They lower their revenue guidance for the next quarter. The stock goes all the way down to 204.17, so down 18 points in the after hours. Where is it now? 225. The stock is up on the day. So fundamentals obviously don't matter anymore. They just come in. They come in with their buying shoes on. I don't know who wants to prop this market up, but fundamentals obviously don't matter when stocks can report disaster numbers like Amazon just did and be up on the day the next day.
Well, I heard Kramer talking the other day, and he said expectations were too high for this quarter. So,
Expectations were too high. They were losing 7 cents.
anyways, that pre-market low, I'm not even. I no, we're not going to see that.
204.17.
Yeah, what's going on here now is someone's definitely making a stand here at the 226 level. Just a couple highs here in the last 15, 20 minutes. So keep an eye on 226. That's going to be some minor resistance. But if you're looking at the chart, Dennis, there's no way that you can tell me that this is a bullish formation.
No, well, I mean, look at Amazon overall. My buddy Chris there, he knows his stuff really well. He's been saying this has been a short since 250. He's still remaining very bearish the stock. So he thinks, the stock's going lower. He just thinks it cannot hold up at this valuation for this long. But it just seems to keep holding up. I'm shocked that it can hold this valuation too. But the stock chart doesn't look great, but you've got to like that pricing action from last night when it can report that disaster report, go down $18 and get it all back in the after hours session a couple hours later. I kind of like that. But if the stock starts to break down below yesterday's low, which was actually the close, 222.92, look out below because there's just not a heck of a lot below there.
Right. And on the upside, if it could pierce this 226 level, really don't see a lot of resistance until yesterday's high at 230.92.
Here's a stock I actually do like. I own it in my investment portfolio. Had it for a lot of years. Merck. And Merck reported earnings here this morning. Stock, they beat by 3 cents, 95 cents against estimates of 92. Stock is trading flat right now on 15,000 shares, 46.31, 46.30. So, interesting enough, though, the stock had pulled back, obviously, with Abbott Labs, with the Lilly pullback. We've had a little pullback in the overall pharmaceutical sector, but it's forming a nice little round bottom just below the 46 area,
Yep.
45.80, 45.87. If that can hold today and the stock can start to drift higher, I still like the overall trend here.
I will say this is a little better looking chart than the other things that you're so bullish on. 45.80 was the spike here in the pre-market low. That settles in nicely with the two lows you had at 45.80 and 45.87. So major super support for Dennis to buy more. On a rally here, 46 in the pre-markets. Had some spotty trades. Really can't identify a good high here. I do see a trade at 46.32, but that was just an odd lot. Keep an eye on yesterday's range. Yesterday's high, 46.34. Also, just another thing I'd like to point out to our listeners is you had a couple during the sell-off during earlier in the week. You had some pretty expanded ranges. Had a real tight range yesterday. Buyers are stepping up to the plate above 46.34. You could be heading up to the 46.60 area and then 47.03.
Expedia reported earnings. They beat handily $1.32 against estimates of $1.26. Stocks trading up $8 on those earnings. So when they beat, they're bringing this up pretty good. But look at what the stock is running into here. This $60 level, you had a high back in September of $60.29. You had another high on October 5th of $59.90. I think that's obviously where the stock's heading because it's there right now. That's your resistance area. The stock starts to break significantly above 60, starts getting up in 61. I'd get real nervous if I was short it, but they are bringing it into an opening into resistance today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't discount that monthly resistance, and that's also all-time high territory. For those looking to play this thing on the short side, just sticking your neck out here at 60 probably be a little bit risky. But sometimes we've seen on these occasions, Dennis, that they just pump it up over 60, run it another 30,
Yep.
40 cents, and then come back
Yep.
down through that number. So that's just a recommendation if you want to play Expedia today. The 60 level is going to be a great swing number.
Priceline will move with this report on Expedia. Priceline trading up here, and interesting enough, this Priceline's formed a nice double bottom here, trading up 24 points this morning. PCLN 557 is where it went out. It's trading at 581.90 on these Expedia earnings, up 4%. If you look back in August, you had the low of 553. That's where we've bottomed here, 553 in October. That's as good as you're going to get a double bottom on a $500 stock. Stock's looking bullish a little bit if that double bottom can hold and start getting above that 580 area.
Yeah, you have hit a high of 585 in the pre-market. You did have just a cluster of highs at that 575 level. Would have been nice to try along going through there during the regular session, but that's not the case. So now we'll use that 575 level as major support. Looking in the book here, I tell you, I'm kind of starting to act like Dennis here. There's not a lot up to like 599.10.
Yeah, it's
Really,
all
if you
it's all
go.
air above
Yeah,
580.
yeah.
And you get above
Shorters
580.
beware here in this thing that are taking that off the open.
Deckers, DECK, they lowered guidance or they lowered their whole 2012 outlook. The stock is getting beat up here this morning, down 18% now at 29.08. Went out at 35.49. We got to go out to the monthlies to try to find any support. Joel, where is that support?
Why would you sell winter boots that you can't wear in the winter?
You tell me you don't shop at Deckers? You don't like their winter boots?
Uggs. I
Uggs.
mean,
Is that what they
I
call them?
just
They call them Uggs?
yeah. Haven't you heard of Ugg boots? Come on, they
I've
don't
heard
have
of
them.
them, but I don't
What,
really
what,
know
what, they
much
don't
about
have
them.
those in Canada?
Ugg boots. No, we need real winter shoes up here in Canada. We get like feet of snow.
Wow. This stock just is falling. Do they split? Is this a self-initiated 2-for-1 stock
I think
split or
it's a
something?
3-for-1. Yeah, back here, this stock got up at $118 back in 2011. Wow.
Oh,
Year ago.
God.
This was not a good
Wow.
investment in the last year. Not a good investment.
Oh, you are brilliant. 28 has been the low in the pre-market. Since you got that pop off 28, you found major resistance here at 31. You can use those levels. You can't really say it's a rounding bottom yet, but I think buyers are starting to get a little bit interested here around 29. So I just call this 28 to 29 level, support. That's a big area. You got to figure people that, shorted the stock is a little, in the middle of September at, 48, 49 bucks. Here it is under 30. I think they might use that as an opportunity to cover. And also, if you look back, going on the monthlies here, you had a low in November of 2009 at 29.34. So opening into support if you can say that, the stock opening up down 6.5 bucks.
Expedia did just take out that 60 trading above it there right now, so keep an eye on that pre-market action in Expedia. Let's talk about Facebook. Facebook has given back quite a bit of its gains. If you were buying that at the $25 pre-market high 2 days ago, you were underwater significantly already. 22.33 to basically, yesterday was not a good day for taking out the lows, moving back, but you still have this whole gap area. I mean, if you're picking bottoms in here, very difficult to do because there's no reference points in there. It gapped up from 20 to 25, or 24 when in the regular session, so there's just all air below here.
Yeah, I did get some questions from some of our subscribers, asking about this stock. Obviously, holding long positions in it. Did hit that 20. It was actually 24.98 in the pre-market was the high. Then opened much lower at 24 and a quarter. Just kind of think about people are going to be lowering their standards here to get out of the stock. And as a result, on the 25th yesterday, the low was almost a buck lower. You have taken out the low from the earnings day, 22.85. That's now going to act as resistance. And folks, just keep an eye on the closes here. 23.23 has been the high of the recent move. That's going to be major resistance now. I bet you offers will be lining up at 23. All the people that missed their opportunity to sell it are going to be lowering their expectations. And then coming on the downside, I mean, you're just not going to flop right back to 1980 because you got a lot of people, stuck short the market.
That's the one thing, yeah. There is people that are caught short this stock, so you will have some buyers here. I think you start getting another handle. You start getting another 21 handle, you're going to start to find some people trying to cover their shorts that were underwater there.
And
So
people that laid out new shorts.
yeah.
Yeah, on the day. So, and they don't care if it fills the gap. If they have a large position on, they're looking for a half a point, 40, 50, 60 points. They could care less about the gap.
Yeah, that's
Let her
true.
free up their money and go into something else.
The overall market here traded right down to this old support line that we found in August and early September. We found support in the 1390 to 94 area. It's actually 1390 because of the contract roll, but the number was back then. I remember 1394. That's where we got to overnight. We got to 1394 and a half. We have bounced significantly from there. We're up at 1402 now. So you're picking bottoms down there. Good for you. You got a pretty good bottom. I got a little bit down there, but wish I would have got more. The overall market here, though, can we hold up here? Obviously, Apple's been the driver. It's had such a nice comeback, but can the overall market hold up when the overall company reports just don't seem to be that great?
I don't know, Dennis. I don't know. We're kind of at loggerheads today. The last few days, we've tried an early morning rally and failed. I'm looking at the Globex high here, 1411. I think that's a little bit out of reach today. I'm looking at the close at 1408 and a quarter is a major resistance now. We're hovering above 1400 here. I think that this is going to be an important level over the next few days. But I think unless we can get back and take out that close at 1408 and a quarter, we're going to sell off and settle under 1400 today.
Well, that's our show for today. Have a great trading day. Have a great weekend. Go Tigers, and we'll be back with you on Monday morning.